points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
If you're drunk,
blasted,
intoxicated,
rip, plastered,
paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Nothing and the longest scoreless inning streak in.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making.
We got a Monday for you. Balloon Fiesta has come and gone. They were perfect. Diego Pavia and Aiden Armenta seem to be pretty perfect, too. If you watch these quarterbacks from the Borque around the country, and UNM football puts up 52, north of 50 for 2 weeks in a row, and dare I say a streak. Good morning, boys and girls. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. How you living?
What it do?
What a weekend, huh?
Wow.
Every weekend, though, right? I mean, this time of year, I mean, we sit in here, and right about now is we're in the sports equinox. Hockey is faced off, and NBA is an exhibition. We got, I mean, literally, so the NBA opens, I think, this week, right? And so we're going to have everything going. I mean, from soccer to NFL to baseball playoffs to everything you want. And it doesn't disappoint. The college football was fantastic over the weekend. The Oregon-Ohio State game was just bonkers. Lobos score 52. You get the baseball. The Dodgers. I was giving my mom a hard time last night. We're on the FaceTime, and so you still telling me how bad that Dodger bullpen is, Mom? Like they still need new pitching. Well, they need starting pitching. And my nephew was on up in Oregon. He's like, Grandma, they got 6 guys on injured lists, like May and Kershaw and Glasnow and Gonsolin. She's like, yeah, Buehler came back and he stinks. I'm like, oh God. Okay, 33 scoreless innings for the Dodgers.
It's what I say all the time with the Dodgers. the worry is ridiculous.
Well, it was real going into that last decisive game against the Padres.
Oh, yeah, it's so real. You know, you just have all this money to make up for things. And, you know, Dave Roberts, if it was only someone else other than Dave Roberts, they would have been good this whole time. Oh, wait, what is that?
Tell you what, Dave Roberts was genius with the bullpen in the Padres series in Game 4. And then Yamamoto was really good in Game 5. The bullpen closed it out. Dodgers haven't given up a run in 3 games in the postseason against that big hitting Padre offense. And then that Mets team who came in on the magic carpet ride. So we'll get there. We got Bronco Mendenhall scheduled to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. Lobos win out at University Stadium on a Saturday. The first home win in the career of Bronco Mendenhall as a head coach at the University of New Mexico. 52-37 was the score. JJ, I mean, the good and then the concerning, right? The defense remains the concerning, and you look at that fourth quarter, and that's really where it is. And I don't know how upset I want to get, and upset's not the right word. How concerned you get. Bronco was on with us 2 weeks ago after the New Mexico State game, and he talked about, but a lot of them were in the fourth quarter. I thought the defense in the guts of the game made some plays. There were fourth down stops where they stopped Air Force. Now, granted, Air Force came in scuffling. I think they were scoring single digits per game outside of their first game against Merrimack, right? 3 against Baylor and 7 last week against Navy. And so they were really struggling. They end up putting up 37 points on the Lobos. although a chunk of them certainly in the fourth quarter. And so I'm not sure the game, like I was comfortable, right? Mid-third quarter, I'm like, okay. I mean, I was at the Montana State game, so you only get so comfortable. But I felt like the Lobos were going to win the game. But do you walk away just going, okay, this team's pretty good offensively. They get a special teams touchdown. I feel good about it. Or is it, damn, dude, they're going to play a Utah State team who put up a bunch of points on UNLV, and they can score points. I mean, can they score 50 every week?
Feeling better about the defense. You can't. This is who the Lobos are this season. They have a video game quarterback, an offense that you believe in, that says this is why they have a chance to win any game they're in, because of as explosive they can be. But you can't just keep looking at it as, oh, it was in the fourth quarter and
because those
players were hurt. Because it's going to be different against Utah State and Colorado State.
Yeah.
With competent quarterbacks that are going to push the football downfield. This was a Air Force team that, not just because they ran the triple option, they weren't in the top 10 in rushing defense. They were bottom 3 in total offense coming into this game. And you look down, and they had 474 yards total offense. Like, the defense is a problem. It's going to be a problem all season long. So it's about stealing moments, and it's what you address, the turnover on downs, 2 fourth-down stops, falling on a fumble that the Air Force quarterback just dropped after the snap, giving it back to your offense, going out there, scoring, being comfortable. But this is Lobo football. They're going to take the over in every single game. Their offense has zero margin for error because they're going to give up plays and yards.
Well, and in that respect, then they played well offensively, right? As far as giving the ball up, they didn't do it. As far as your quarterback, who continues to play well, Devin Dampier, 15 for 20 through the air, 179 yards and a touchdown. And he ran the ball well. Devin Dampier, 11 for 51 and a touchdown. Soldier Maiava-Peters was a big piece of this one. And it's a weapon that you got a glimpse of, what was it, 2 years ago? He was the freshman quarterback. If you recall, that was before his letter, right? That was the New Mexico Bowl, the SMU BYU New Mexico Bowl, the primetime game on ABC, where BYU came in and they started a freshman quarterback, and he ended up being the MVP of that game. And you looked at him like, wow, okay, he's a pretty good player. He didn't. The stats aren't going to blow your ears off, but it was pretty good. And he transferred. It was a late transfer, right? It was a late summer transfer. And you're like, wow, all right, you got a quarterback. And I don't know, maybe he's your quarterback if something happens to Dampier or you go to Isaiah Chavez, whatever. But I like the way they got him involved. 9 carries, 69 yards, JJ. I like the way they got Soldier Maiava-Peters involved. I like the weapons. I thought the catch by Trujillo on the sideline the first quarter was sick.
It sparked them in the first half, because if he doesn't make that play, that's punts on the first 2 offensive possessions for the Lobos.
How do you feel about this team? I mean, here they are. They're 2. You keep looking at the Montana State game, right? You're going, damn, dude. I mean, if they were 3-3 right now, you'd feel really optimistic about a postseason opportunity, right? And you still can, because you've got to win 4 out of your last 6, right? And you look at the schedule and you're like, oh, okay.
They can do that.
Like, I wouldn't bet necessarily. The odds might be against you, but San Diego State doesn't look like world
walking
beaters.
into a pick'em game this weekend.
Is it a pick'em?
Yep.
Is that what it is? Utah State isn't killing the world. Colorado State's not killing the world. San Diego State, Wyoming certainly are not. You look at games and you're going, oh, okay, there's winnable. And this was one of them, and they took care of business. And I guess as I sit here and I watch the build of this program, and did I see progress at the end of the last year? I absolutely did, JJ. I mean, for me, I absolutely did. But they made the change, right? And so you had to decide, okay, what am I going to do? And it was a teardown. When you bring in 60 new guys, no matter how much progress you may have seen last year, when you bring in 60 new guys, it's a teardown and a restart. And so as I'm watching the restart, so somebody tried to remind me, yeah, but the old coaching staff is the ones who brought in Dampier. Yeah, no, you're right. 100% they did. And this coaching staff is the one who was able to retain him for a year at least and continue his growth. He was good last year. He's terrific this year. He is a terrific quarterback. I was talking to some of the Air Force people, and they're like, damn, dude, he's as good as anybody in this league. Like, we watched him on tape, and I don't know how they felt after the game. But so I walk away. This is a long-winded way to say, as I walk away, I'm saying, okay, you understand your strengths, you understand your weaknesses. You've won 2 in a row. Yeah, you've given up a lot of points, 37 and 40 in the last 2 weeks to struggling offenses. You put up north of 50 2 weeks in a row. And to your point, if that's the way they've got to win, all right, then go do it.
Yeah, I am very optimistic about this team. It's one where what we've seen in the last 2 weeks is who they're going to be. They're going to play high-scoring games. They're going to give up season and career highs to the opponents that they play. And it's can they steal a possession or two in a game back for their offense.
And they
have a chance.
And they did. And I, like I said, throughout the game, as I sat there and I watched this thing, there, I don't know. Did you not feel better in the first half a quarter about their defense when they were making stops on fourth down? When they were open, so I'm trying to find the line score. So Air Force scored 20 points in the fourth quarter. It was 28-17 at halftime. I don't have the halftime.
They didn't make any stops in the first half.
What were the fourth down stops?
They came in the third quarter.
In the third quarter, okay. Yeah, my mind's garbled. Did you not feel a little bit better about them? You just say no.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like the moments they stepped up on fourth down were good, and they allowed them to maintain. I felt comfortable about the Lobos.
Yeah.
But there's nothing with this
Because
defense.
you felt comfortable because you thought they'd keep scoring.
Yes. The Air Force had no chance to stop this team. Like Devin Dampier, I was talking to some people too, and they're like, dude, it looks like he's playing flag football
Yeah, Tom.
against that Air Force defense.
Well, he was just so much faster, right? He athletically. And I talked to Troy Calhoun before the game on Saturday, and it's funny. I walked up to him, and he kind of was smiling as I walked up. And I said, so this was the year, huh? Because I said, you told me this was the year it catches up to you. It's we're just young, Jeff. And I said, is it your line? He says they're playing for the first time. He says we're just young. He says we graduated 2 really, really good classes. We can't go anywhere. And it's funny for a 1-4 now 1-5 coach. It was in the best mood I've ever seen. And maybe because he knows he's got security and but losing sucks. And I'm not telling you he was happy about it, but this is one where he says, "I told you." I'm like, yeah, but you tell me every damn year, right? And this is the one, and he knew it. All right, Lobo fan, let's go. I want to hear your thoughts at 505-246-0610. If you're a Lobo and Cowboy fan or Lobo and Bronco fan, boy, you certainly are mixed today, aren't you? Cowboy fan, you're not getting off the hook. You're just not. When we come back, we're going to get into the worst loss in however long, forever, right? Against a team that came in and dismantled you, undressed you, exposed you, and where do you go from here? You got a bye week. You got 2 weeks to sit on this thing. I don't think they make a change, but if I was to say, hey, somebody's going to make a change today, and is it going to be the Jaguars or the Cowboys, who would you bet on? It wouldn't be the Jaguars, right? Are they going to fire him overseas?
Yeah.
They won't like
the
they're staying over there.
Jaguars were in the United States, I'd say Doug Peterson would be the favorite.
Right? But they're not going to fire him over there and make him get his own ass home, right? Or are they?
But I think that might occur after
They're 2
next
game
Sunday.
trip to And they get New England next week, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They lose that one, and he may have to clean out his place in Jacksonville. All right, 505-246-0610. Here's the story today. Bronco Mendenhall scheduled to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll talk with the Lobo football coaches on a 2-game winning streak. We're going to get into the Dodgers and Mets, Yankees and Guardians later today. New Mexico United has wrapped up home field throughout the Western Conference playoffs. Touch on that as well. Diego Pavia wins again. Aiden Armenta wins again. 2 Albuquerque quarterbacks doing it around the country. Take a look at the polls, and Charger fan or Bronco fan, Raiders are a mess. We're starting to get real definition now in what the NFL is in mid-October. When we come back, holy smokes, Cowboy fan. That just can't happen. It can't happen at home. It can't happen on the right. It can't happen the way it did. What if maybe the Cowboys just aren't very good? We'll do that next. Hey, Halloween's coming. That means fun for the kids. Candy, sweets, yummy. But sweets and candy in the car make a real mess. So does Halloween, and so does fall. I want to recommend my friends over at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They are the go-to for vehicle detailing. I use them. I recommend them. I purchase gift cards and give them away as gifts, and people flat out love them. They've been awarded best in the city. Why? Because they go above and beyond. They make your car look and feel and smell like the day you took it off the lot. Remember how cool it was when it was brand new? Look, this is one of your biggest investments, right? Your vehicle. Invest a couple of bucks and take care of it. And by the way, you spend how many hours in there? Do you ever get like when you reset your mileage as your clock start? You ever realize, like, I look at it, I spend more than 24 hours a week in my car. That's a day, like a seventh plus of my life in my vehicle. And the beauty of this, they come to you. They do it where it works for you, when it's convenient, where it's convenient for you, at your home, at your office. You don't take it to them. So give your car the treatment it needs. Schedule with on-the-spot automotive detailing today. It's all right there online. You can book and buy right there online. It's OTSdetailing.com. OTSdetailing.com.
Bingo. All right, Bill.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates?
Been a 10 on the year, you are 10 and 11. Good week for you on your 3-4. Hey, opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. So I was just walking down the hall just after you just passed. I was had my coffee, and I was asked, "Hey, so sarcasm font was clearly on. So you think that investment in Dak Prescott's paying off right now?" Damn. Cowboy fan, how you feeling? Omar's in already. You want me to just read it to you? He's Omar. Omar is like the ultimate, no matter what, right? In Coach Jones, we trust. Can you see now why Omar is no longer on the bandwagon? I don't know if Omar is Sid with the Isotope /Dukes, but it sounds like it. Jeff, nothing ever changes. It's been like this year after year, decade after decade. Dallas Cowboys look great against fakers like the Pittsburgh Steelers, Washington, and the Minnesota Vikings, but melt down when competition gets real. It all starts in the owner's box, but do you see that guy stepping aside during the bye week and letting a football person run the show? Omar's changed his tune. They get beat 47-9. 47-9 at home. Look, man, I get it. Detroit's good. Nobody gets beat in the NFL 47-9. Okay, can we just nobody gets beat 47-9 in the NFL. JJ, you took 9.5, a crappy team against a pretty good team just because the spread was 9.5, right?
Yes.
Nobody loses 47-9 in the NFL. Jared Goff threw 3 touchdown passes. They toyed with you. They were doing freaking hook and ladders to linemen.
They were trying to get an offensive lineman to score a touchdown because they remembered what happened last year with the offensive lineman reporting, but then not being reported in the flag. They were trying to get an offensive lineman to score. They were doing that to you because they were not worried one bit about the Dallas Cowboys.
Dude, my trade, the Kyler Murray for Jared Goff trade's not looking very good for me. Probably should have stayed with Jared Goff. They toyed with you, boys and girls. Cowboy fan, Jerry said after the game, he's not making a coaching change. You've got a bye week coming up. You've got to make some kind of change. I don't know what the answer is, but the answer is you cannot sit there and just tell your fan base that we got the talent and we just got to execute. It doesn't work anymore. Worst home loss of the Jerry Jones era. Are you firing your coach? Quote Jerry Jones. "Oh, I haven't even considered that. I'm not considering that. Just so you're clear, I'm not considering that." That would be 3, "I'm not considering that," said one quote. Does that mean he's fired today? Well, now
that doesn't change. That's not going to change anything for the Cowboys.
100%.
This is an average football team with,
at best,
it is an average football team with high expectations because of who they are. It's just like any years the Lakers or Yankees are down. Sometimes that's who you are, and this is who this team has been for a while. Even when you're winning 12 games, people know the difference. All right, they can go out there and beat the teams they are better than, and they've struggled and have to punch up in their weight class. And you're seeing, Dak Prescott's not being an elevator. You're paying this guy to elevate, and he's not elevating that offense. I'm tired of hearing Mike McCarthy is a lame duck coach, so he can't coach. Do your job.
Yeah, that's not why.
You're not only scoring 9 points because you're not under contract next season.
They're 3-3. But look, the Ravens' loss looks fine when you look at the score 28-25. It wasn't that close.
So in the 3 home games,
yes,
they've trailed by 20 or more points in all 3 home games.
Yeah. 44-19, they got run out of their own building by the Saints. The Ravens game got tight at the end because it did. But, I mean, that wasn't close. It was never in doubt. And 47-9 at home to the Lions. Oh, by the way, here come the Niners, Falcons, Eagles, Texans, Commanders. Jerry was asked about when he made the in-season change, 2010. He fired Wade Phillips. He put Jason Garrett in there. And he didn't like that. Quote, that would be a hypothetical. In that matter, do you think I'm an idiot? Do you? Okay, well, I'm not going to hypothetical with you about what I consider a coaching change in light of the timing we're sitting here with. I'm not at all. I don't even know what that means. They're disappointed. They're getting their asses kicked. Their quarterback's not playing well. But see, here's the deal, because I think you're right, JJ, as far as they're an average football team. But you're going into a bye. You've got to do something, don't you? And you're giving up a boatload of points. I mean, granted, you didn't give up a boatload to the Steelers. Is it Zimmer? You can't just keep doing what you're doing. So what do? You just got pantsed at home and got to eat that for 2 weeks.
You can move responsibilities around, but
yeah, I don't know the answer.
This is one. Michael Parsons wasn't there. Eric Kendricks wasn't playing. Like, that's real. You're trying to have any pulse defensively.
Yeah.
You take the play calling duties away from Mike Zimmer and give it to someone else. It's not changing the personnel right now. This is a little bit of everything. It's on the coaching staff. It's on the players. You know, Dak, that was a great. The first play by Brian Branch was just a great play too. He came off his man, made the interception, but it's an offense that is not even. You're not even seeing explosives out of CeeDee Lamb right now.
You got no running
Rico
game.
Dowdle, Zeke Elliott, and Zeke is like, hey, if you're going to bring me in, are you going to give me any carries? Yeah. And so that's simmering. Dak's not elevating. Like, I'm with you. I understand it. You're like, boom, it needs to change.
But what? You make change just to make change? And maybe the answer is yes, because you got to do something.
Yeah, maybe it is. Well, you didn't want McCarthy long term, so fire him.
I'm never for that, and because I don't know that what I think. Well, I don't know how I believe that firing Mike McCarthy is going to change this team. Did they lose 47-9 yesterday because Mike McCarthy threw interceptions and couldn't make tackles? I mean, they didn't. And the guy putting the team together didn't. He put a small team together. They're small.
They're small. They're old.
Yeah. 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 No, look. You guys, you have problems. The story of this game was Aiden Hutchinson. How about that? A dude who's having an MVP-like season. And honestly, JJ, it looks so innocuous. I haven't seen the play. I saw the play, but I didn't see the leg. You've seen the leg snap? Yeah, I didn't see. I don't need to. Broke his leg right above the ankle. His leg snapped. Collided with Aleem McNeil on a sack. And he's done. Man, you see a dude just like that, take his gloves off on the field, and you just know, and it took a long time. That sucked. I mean, that
yeah, he was probably the leader in the clubhouse right now for Defensive Player of the Year. Just fantastic. The Lions, to see the way they responded after that was always positive. Without anything like that is just devastating for a team, but they are good enough that they can continue to be a factor in the NFC, because that offense, when it's clicking, when Jared Goff is not under pressure, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Let him sit.
Makes it look so easy. So you got to bring pressure. That's why I'm super excited for that next matchup, Detroit, Minnesota, because Brian Flores brings pressure, and that's what I want to see, is that matchup between those teams fighting in the NFC North.
Well, and now you just lost the guy who was leading the NFL in sacks, leading the NFL in pressures, pass rush win rate. He was number one as well. And up against Sam Darnold, who's been playing really well. Like a really, really, really good Minnesota team. That's your game of the week next week. It's Lions and Vikings. It just is. 505-246-0610. Cowboy fan, what would you do? Like honestly, you got to do. You feel like you got to do something, don't you? You can't just sit here and do the same thing, can you? So what would you do? How would you fix it? The easy answer is fire McCarthy. Okay, what's that going to do? Did you lose 47-9 yesterday simply because your head coach made bad calls? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
If you need firewood.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom.
GM, okay. Yeah. What are you going to do now? All I heard was that they're so talented and this is such a good roster and well, they're 3-3 and it just got run out of their own built. I mean, blued out. 47-9 was the final. Jared Goff, 18 for 25. Last game out, he was 18 for 18, right?
Yes, he was.
So he's got 7 incomplete passes in his last 2 games. Yeah, he's playing at a really good clip right now. Dak, 17 for 33, 178 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And the Cowboys have a bye week, and they need it this week. Bronco fan, how you feeling? You played the Chargers 23-16. Bo Nix was 19 for 33 in the loss. 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. They had no offense until late in the game. They finally found a couple of drives. JJ, I watched that game. That was a frustrating one for me because I think the Chargers are pretty pedestrian. I do. And I'm watching a young quarterback try to grow up. I think that the Broncos have a really good offense. They scored 6. They just got started too late. 16 points in the fourth quarter. You're going to have to
That's
be
who
patient.
they are.
Yeah.
It's an anemic offense.
Yeah.
It's Bo Nix learning Sean Payton's scheme, trying to make plays, but that is the difference between Bo Nix and Justin Herbert. I was really impressed with Justin Herbert because Herbert doesn't have any weapons on that offense, and he was efficient. He controlled the game. He put them in scoring position. I was very impressed with what the Chargers were able to do in that game.
Well, they ran the ball 38 times. That's what they do, right? They hand the ball, turn around, and give it to J.K. Dobbins, who had 96 yards, and just plot it, get 3.5, 4 yards at carry. And when you need it, let Justin Herbert find somebody.
It was also a season high in passing yards for Herbert against that Broncos defense.
Yeah, wasn't a ton. It was 237, but yeah, it's who the Chargers are. That was a classic of who those two teams are, right? You have one team that's trying to figure out and have their quarterback learn. I think Bo Nix is going to be okay. Like, you've watched him now for 6 games. Are you convinced he's the guy for the next X number of years? And I say X, the next 6, 7, 8 years.
I can't say 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
I think Bo Nix is going to be a quarterback that if they can bring in some talent, stay the course the next few seasons with Sean Payton, you feel he can compete. But I don't think Bo Nix is going to be a guy you look at and say, hey, this is why you can win a division. This is why you can win a conference.
See,
it's just a piece to the puzzle.
I think a little higher of him after watching him. I think if you give them a little running game to lean on. I mean, they have none. They ran the ball 18 times. And that didn't even matter. 6 of them were Bo Nix. So really 12 times they turn around and hand the ball to somebody, right? I think I'm watching him mature. I think he makes good decisions. I believe he's versatile enough to get out of trouble and get away. I firmly believe that once they shore up that line a little bit and get him a running game, and I don't know. I mean, how do you feel when you compare his weapons to other people's weapons? Cortland Sutton's a good receiver. After that, do you feel good about what he's throwing to?
No.
And that's why I say I'm watching him be, I don't even know if efficient's the right word. I'm watching him grow up. And I realize what is lacking: a running game, a dynamic receiver, go-to. And I'm like, okay, like I'm satisfied with the growth. I'm not like, oh my goodness, look what you got. But I might be. I actually might be. When I watch what Bo Nix is doing, and maybe it's because they've been so bad at that position for so long. but I kind of feel like you got something there. I kind of feel like as I watch Bo Nix evolve and grow up, and look, it takes time. I mean, you're realizing now 6 games in, Caleb Williams is a lot better than you thought he was after game 2, right? Or Caleb Williams is growing.
Yeah, that's different. You're right. There's weapons involved, and if Bo Nix was in an offense with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and DeAndre Swift, he'd probably look a little bit different.
Yeah, that's why I think I maybe not convinced, but I believe he's your guy for the next 6, 7, 8 years. And I think he's going to be good. I do. I think he makes good decisions. I think he's growing up. I think he's evolving into it. 505-246-0610. Tony likes the Broncos. Tony, and do you think he's the guy? How are you?
Like is an understatement, sir. Yeah. Like is a very big time understatement.
Good.
Yeah, I do. Do I see him as the guy for the next 6, 7 years? But we're going to fall in that. Maybe there's something better out there. Oh, he's good, but hey, maybe we can upgrade here. You know what I mean? He's going to be one of those guys. That's how I see it. My thing is this. They showed a lot of highlights, and as they showed like the recaps of the plays and everything, and he's scrambling, and receivers are standing around. Like nobody, like in the days of John Elway, and John Elway had this with his receivers. Once John Elway started scrambling, receivers started coming back to him. One guy always went deep, and the receivers started coming back to him to help make a play. These guys did it. Nobody. It's like they just like, okay, Bo, you're running. Okay, well, I'm over here. It's like, wow, man. And the kid, it was frustrating to watch because as they were showing those plays, he had nowhere to go. He really didn't. And that zone, did it confuse him? No, not in my opinion, not too much. The fact that receivers weren't moving, that confused him, I think. It's frustrating. We had some people over, some fellow Broncoites here at the house, and I told my wife, I said, they're going to lose, and it's going to be a frustrating loss. And my wife's like, no, you got to think positive. I've been watching this team way too long to do the rah-rah, cheer here, and I knew it. That's Denver in a nutshell. That's Denver in a nutshell. They're going to give you a little bit of candy, but right when you want to take off the wrapper, the whole wrapper, they're going to yank that candy back, and it's a little frustrating. But I do see Bo as the guy. What we do need is another good receiver to go along with Cortland.
Yep,
and that's where to me that's where Tim Patrick was. That Tim Patrick was that guy. To me, Tim Patrick was that security blanket that Bo was going to need. But we let him go. And as far as Cowboys, Cowboy fans are so silly, man. They want to fire the coach. They want to get rid of the quarterback, get rid of the owner. He's the owner. He ain't going anywhere. He's the owner. Yep. He ain't going anywhere.
Yep.
But this is Cowboy fans. They're good. They're must-see TV right there.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Great to hear you. Thanks, Tony. So he thinks he's your guy. He feels like I feel. Not going to go overly crazy optimistic, but feel pretty good about the guy and get him some more weapons.
At some point, too, you'd like to see a little bit of that elevation be there.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. 505-246-0610. Bronco fan, you can get in. Cowboy fan, I mean, what's the answer there? Raider fan, there probably isn't an answer. Oh, wait, you got guys shoving your coach now, and yeah, I don't know who the biggest mess is. You tell me. Jaguars, Raiders, Cowboys, Browns. Who's the biggest mess in the NFL? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Lobos at Utah State, 2 o'clock on Saturday. Up in Logan, 1 o'clock pregame over on News Radio KKOB. I got to, who asked me about this? I'm looking. Somebody asked what time it was. You saw a bunch of times. Dan says, I need to pick your brains, Jeffrey and Juan Jose. I have 3 schedules with 3 different post times for Utah State, 1:32 and 3. Probably says 3 o'clock Central or something. It's 2 o'clock from what I see, right? 2 o'clock. Over on News Radio KKOB. Utah State coming off a loss. They played UNLV over the weekend. What was it, Friday? Friday night?
Friday night.
Scored some points on UNLV. They're 1-5. Utah State is. This game is a pick'em. Their one win was against Robert Morris. They lost to USC in Utah. Played well against Utah, 38-21. Lost on the road to Temple, 45-29. Boise State beat them 62-30. And UNLV beat them 50-34. So in their last, in their Division I, their FBS games, JJ, they get them 48, 38, 45, 62, and 50. That's a lot of points, dude, to a team in New Mexico who's scoring a lot of points coming in. I mean, you said take the over, but they're giving up an average of 48.6 points a game. That's insanity right there, isn't it? Now, granted, look, again, Boise State scores points. UNLV scores points. They've had a way tougher schedule than New Mexico. Wouldn't you argue? I mean, there's no argument, right? New Mexico played Arizona and Auburn. That was tough. They played SC, Utah, Boise State, and UNLV.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not telling you they're a great team. Please, don't hear that from me. They're giving up a lot of points. But I think they're probably looking at it going, okay, now we get to come down to reality.
Have you seen the point total for this game yet? What would you think it would be at? We'll reverse it on you.
All right, without looking, I'm going to guess it's 68 now. It is 70. Holy smokes.
Right?
78 and a half. When was the last time you saw anything like that?
And I'm still like, yeah,
you still want to bet the over? Lobos are 2.5 point road favorites, and the win total is 78 and a half. Holy shnikes. Mountain West over the weekend. Friday, UNLV 50-34. They win in Logan. Did the Rebels. So they are 5-1. They bounced back from the loss to Syracuse. Haji Malik Williams, the quarterback, threw for 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, 233 yards. Jaden Thomas ran for 139 yards. They had 2 running backs over 100 yards. Kylan James ran for 105 as well. And they had another dude at 65. That was their quarterback. So big win for the Rebels. Boise State goes out to Hawaii. Ashton Genty runs for 217 yards. They beat Hawaii 28-7. Colorado State, this surprised me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And it was a good one, and I expected it to be good. Colorado State beat San Jose State 31-24 in Colorado, up in Fort Collins. San Diego State went to Laramie, came from behind, and beats Wyoming 27-24. Aztecs are 3-3. Wyoming falls to 1-5. Washington State over Fresno State in Fresno 25-17. And this is a stunner. I mean, did the Nevada score not stun you? 42-37, Nevada beat Oregon State.
That was an impressive win for Nevada. They have an offense that is very good. And again, it's a schedule that's favorable. Lobos don't have to play Nevada. And they're one of those teams that score a boatload of points on you.
JJ, Nevada scored 42 points and threw the ball 13 times.
Mm-hmm.
They just ran it down their necks. Brendan Lewis, 151 yards. He's the quarterback. Ran for 9 carries, 151 yards. And Savion Red went for 137 yards on 23 carries. They just ran it down Oregon State's neck. And I mean, that's, to me, honestly, that was a stunner to me. Nevada's 3-4. Oregon State came in 4-1. That was the biggest surprise of the weekend on the Mountain West slate.
It was only a 2.5 point spread.
Is that all it was? Jeff Choate's done a nice job there. Friday, you get Fresno State at Nevada this week. Hawaii's at Washington State. Lobos go to Utah State. Wyoming will be at San Jose. Colorado State Air Force, that's in Colorado Springs. And UNLV will be on the road at Oregon State. That's what you get this week. The Aggies play, I believe, Wednesday of this week, if I'm not mistaken. They will be at home. It's Tuesday, dude. I don't know why I thought it was Wednesday. I was thinking I was going down there on Wednesday. But now that's tomorrow. They play Louisiana Tech. They are 11-point dogs at home to Louisiana Tech. 505-246-0610. Let me give you a couple other things. Diego Pavia and the Vanderbilt Commodores. The Doors went on the road and won again. This time it was at Kentucky. They win 20-13. They were dogs in this game too. And Diego was 20 of what was he, 13 for 20? If I'm not mistaken. The 15 for 18, 143 yards. 2 touchdowns and an interception. He ran for 53 yards. And so the Doors are now 4-2 and 2-1. We get Ball State next. It was a pretty big win on the road for them, dude.
12.5-point dogs against a Kentucky team that's playing really well, and everyone thought that was an easy letdown spot for Vanderbilt.
It made sense, didn't it?
It was a really good win for that team.
Really good win. Meanwhile, down in Monroe, Louisiana Monroe is 5-1 for the first time as a Division I or an FBS team. First time since 1980. I think it's 87, if I'm not mistaken. Aiden Armenta, the quarterback from La Cueva High School, is 2-0 as a starter. They beat Southern Mississippi 38-21. Another good game for Aiden, and they're one game away from bowl eligibility. 10 for 17, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He ran for another touchdown. And the Warhawks are 5-1. Next up, they get South Alabama. They get a week off this week. South Alabama, then Marshall, Texas State, Auburn. They're right in the mix in the Sun Belt. So 2 Borque quarterbacks doing pretty well around America. 505-246-0610. When we get back, Dodger fan, we got something for you. We go through the NFL slate. Big win for the Texans. We'll talk about it. Who's the biggest mess? Is it the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Browns? I mean, who would you least want to be right now? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get...
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM, with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
Cowboys get run out of their own built. Broncos drop one at home. Lobos are on a 2-game win streak. New Mexico United wrap up home field advantage throughout the Western Conference playoffs. Raiders are a mess. Browns are a mess. And the Dodgers beat the Mets. That's not mess, but Mets. 9-0, 33 scoreless innings in postseason play. What up, boys and girls? Merry Monday. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Hey, I would be remiss. I said it. I was over on News Radio KKOB yesterday. 4:57 in the morning I was on.
Woo-wee.
Dude, I thought I got there early. So, all right, what time would you try to show up? If you had to do, I did the Balloon Fiesta 2 hours on KKOB from 4:57, in fact, to 7 o'clock. So what time would you try? If you're on the air at 4:57, you try to get there what?
Probably want to be in the parking lot.
No, but walk up to the set.
Oh, like 4:30, 4:40.
Yeah, I walked up about 4:40, 4:38, and I was worked with Natasha Leba yesterday. It's like it's about time. I'm like, whoa, I'm early. Like
that is very early.
Don't you think? At 4:38 for something at 5:37, that's like 19 minutes early before my first cut. I felt I was ridiculously early.
Yes, that is ridiculous.
By the way, that beats the hell out of you. Getting up at 3:20 in the morning. Like, we got home at 9:30. Fiesta was beautiful yesterday. The skies were gorgeous. So 9 for 9 on Fiesta. It was wonderful. But I slept through the whole first half of Red Zone. Like I did. I went home and I was out. Addie got up probably about fourth quarter of the early games. And then I took another nap. Like, I feel like crap. Yeah, it gets you, man. It gets you. But my whole point of this was a gigantic shout out to our engineer, Evan Baker, Manny. Like, and I know you've heard about it by now. Last Friday morning, a balloon, the Blue Moon balloon, hit the KKOB tower. It crumbled, and I know you've probably seen the video by now. You've seen the video of it, right?
Yes, I have.
I mean, it crumbled like a toy, like just boom, like a house of cards. And I figured it was the AM tower for KKOB. And so news radio was on the air on the FM, but the AM was off the air, obviously, with the tower down. I figured it would be months that they'd be down, and they were on the air within 10 hours. And what Evan did, and Manny, but I mean, Evan's a magician. He was just in here talking. They've got the other tower up, and whatever they did with whatever wires and bubble gum and shoestrings to get us on the air. But holy smokes, I knew our engineering staff was good. I had no idea they were that good. That was insanity.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Seeing how it all went down. In fact, no one was hurt.
Which was the biggest key.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was the biggest key of all. But yeah, it was good to see. We saw a lot of people out at Fiesta yesterday. A lot of different. It's funny at Fiesta. Everybody wears a sport. Like people just wear their favorite team. I mean, everything from the Padres to Alabama to. I mean, I saw stuff that I didn't even know, like European stuff. Didn't even know. It was cool. We talk about this all the time. It hurts getting up, but being out there is pretty cool at Fiesta. Watch everything go up.
It's a wonderful event. It is.
I did have really good parking though. I did. I might have.
Do what you got to do.
I might have got.
Everyone pulls the strings that they can.
Yeah, I might have got really stoked. Now our guys didn't take care of me. Don't get me wrong. A guy around here said, "Oh, I'll take care of you." He was nowhere to be found. But I did. All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go. Who is the biggest mess right now, JJ? Like, which team would you least like to be having to clean it up right now? If you were a general manager in the National Football League, the Browns, saddled with the Deshaun Watson contract, they're horrible. They continue to lose. I mean, they got down. Look, they played the Eagles tight yesterday. They get down first and goal at the 3, and they take 2 penalties and back them up, and they settle for a field goal and they lose. Would you rather be the Cowboys who just got run 47-9 out of their own built? They're small. Their personnel's bad. You got Jerry Jones calling the shots, and you can't win a game at home, and you can't stop anybody. Maybe the worst defense in the league. Maybe I don't know. The Raiders, you got a player pushing the coach. They just got beat 32-13 at home. Their best players holding out. He wants to get traded. Or the Jaguars, who are so bad they just put him in London for 2 weeks. Here, go play a couple games in London for a couple weeks. Got beat by the Bears 35-16. They're 1-5 with a franchise quarterback who they also paid, who is playing way below his pay grade. And if I'm missing someone, feel free to tell me, because the Titans might not be far away.
This is easy.
Is it easy?
Yes, it's Cleveland. It is the Cleveland Browns.
I don't know if it's that easy.
It is easy.
I might agree with you,
easy.
but I don't know. I think it's easy.
There's talking points with the rest.
Yeah.
But why it's so easy for me, it's Deshaun Watson's not good and that contract, and you're dealing with an owner that signed off on that, so he's going to force it. So the head coach and general manager have to keep doubling down on Deshaun Watson, even though it doesn't look good. And I don't think Kevin Stefanski has made good decisions outside of just Deshaun Watson stuff. Kicking a field goal down 7 in the fourth quarter and when it's 4th and goal is ridiculous. Like, you need to stop anyway, because you're going to have to get the ball back and score a touchdown. And you say, well, if we kick a field goal, do we stop him and score a touchdown? You're not going to do that. So why not try to tie the game right there, as opposed to kicking a field goal and then not getting a shot after that? That's bad coaching in that moment. So Deshaun Watson, contract, to me it's the Cleveland Browns. Because I look at those others, then it would be Vegas, just because there's...
So Browns and Vegas?
Nothing there to work with right now at the quarterback position. But as bad as Trevor Lawrence has looked, I would, if I was a coach, I feel like I can make something out of this.
Do you not even put the Dallas Cowboys in the mix?
And then I'd have the Cowboys.
So
because the Jerry Jones stuff, I get it. But
take the Jerry Jones stuff out. They got beat 47-9 at home.
It is a mess. But I know that if I was a coach going in there, like Dak Prescott's someone I trust. He didn't play well, but he's not going to be a problem for me.
Yeah, I guess another way to phrase it.
And I know I can win double-digit football games with that guy.
So then what you would say is, and I don't want to say easy because that's not the answer, the quickest fix of those 4 would be Dallas?
Yes.
So if I ranked it in order, the quickest fix, it would go Dallas, Jacksonville, Raiders, Browns?
Yes.
Because that's another way to say it. Okay. I think the Raiders are in trouble. I think the Raiders are a mess. I got their best players don't want to be there anymore. Their best players who went to bat for a coach. I hired a coach, and he may not be a good NFL coach. I have no plan at quarterback. Like, I have no plan at quarterback. Gardner Minshew was my guy. I thought I would hit on a journeyman, and here's his shot, a la Sam Darnold. And I'm watching Sam Darnold hit, and I'm watching my guy not. I don't have anybody behind Aiden O'Connell. So we went to Aiden O'Connell because, well, I mean, the kid out of Purdue, he looked really good a couple times, and let's throw it. No. And so they got run out of their own build. By the way, was it like 8-1 Steeler fan or Raider fan in that place?
Yeah, you go to Aiden O'Connell, too, the week that Jacoby Myers is out. You know, Devontae Adams isn't going to play maybe ever again.
They have no running game.
For the Raiders.
Yeah.
They had a really good drive to start the game, and then after that, nothing.
They have no running game. Their defense is marginal. Like, they're a freaking mess. Jacksonville can't stop anybody. Their quarterback is way underperforming his contract. They also are struggling running the football, and they can't stop anybody. And then you got Cleveland, who, I mean, who was it told me the other day? Oh, it was your guy, Ned. I hope I'm not throwing him under the bus on this. But he said, I feel bad every time Browns lose because TJ just gets so hurt. TJ Trout, who hosts the afternoon over on News Radio KQB, a big Browns fan. He wears little orange Chuck Taylors, like he looks like a little elf in his little orange high tops. I'm a big TJ Trout fan. I like him a lot. They are 1-5. But Ned says, I feel bad because he takes it so personally. A defense that we thought may be one of the best in the league, they're not giving up tons of points. They gave up 20 this week, 34 the week before. But lost with 20, lost with 21, gave up 13 the week before. Their defense is not horrible. In fact, their defense scored one of their touchdowns, right?
No, they blocked the field goal and returned.
That's what it was, special teams. Yeah, Myles Garrett got through and blocked the field goal. I think you're right. Okay, I think the Browns are the biggest mess.
It all comes back down to Deshaun Watson and trying to navigate that with the ownership and general manager and head coach, knowing that their jobs are on line directly tied to Deshaun Watson, unlike anyone else right now, because other teams could make a quarterback change or could bench someone that's struggling. But with the swing, with everything that was invested in Deshaun Watson, that ownership group is going to beat it until it's dust to try to make it work.
Yeah. All right. Before we hit this break, I want to give a shout out to Valley Fence for securing the perimeter around the scene. So Valley Fence and IPS with security. So I guess when our tower went down, I was told it was amazing the amount of people that were on property trying to steal metal, trying to steal the copper. So Valley Fence came out and they secured it, and IPS has been out there with security, making sure that people just don't take advantage of the situation. But yeah, thanks to both of those two companies for getting out there and making sure that we're taking care of it. I mean, that what could have been a tragedy, JJ. I mean, the worst thing is we got knocked off the air on the AM side on KKB, which was bad, but nobody got hurt, nobody got killed, and it could have been really bad. But yeah, it was brutal. All right, 505-246-0610. Bronco Mendenhall, Lobo football coach, scheduled to be with us. Coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, we'll talk to him about his team's now winning streak. They've won 2 in a row. Yeah, I mean, that's a streak, right? And favored again with a gigantic number as far as the point total coming up in Logan this weekend. So we'll do that. When we come back, we will hit the Dodgers. Dodgers beat the Mets 9-0 yesterday, National League Championship Series. And what they're doing is historic. It's pretty amazing. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Got a lot of that this weekend. Dodgers! All the Dodger fans came out. Dodgers beat the Mets yesterday. 9-0, game 1 of the National League Championship Series. Dodgers have not given a run up in 3 games. In fact, it's been 33 innings since Los Angeles' pitching staff has given up a run. you guys, I don't even know how to put it into context. I mean, it was the 1902 New York, or 1905 or whatever it was, 1902 New York Giants. That's the record they've tied. The Dodgers shutout record. Oh, and by the way, they hit the ball yesterday. So help me understand, the Mets decided to go with a guy who'd been hurt all year and made one start during the regular season and figured he was going to be really good in the playoffs.
Dave, you're looking for
anything?
Availability. Who's available?
All right. I mean, all right. Longest scoreless streaks in Major League Baseball playoff history. The Dodgers have tied the Baltimore Orioles at 33 innings. The 1966 Baltimore Orioles. The other one, where did I see that dang Giants thing? It was on the TV last night. Number 3 was the 1974 Oakland A's. Dodgers got a great pitching performance yesterday from Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty came over from the Tigers right at the trade deadline, like literally 5 minutes before the trade deadline is when the Dodgers got him because they needed starting pitching because they got 6 dudes on the injured list. What do they do next year with all these guys under contract? They'll worry about it next year. Because
use them?
Yeah.
So they're going to need them?
Yeah. No, 100%. Their bats have woken up. Mookie Betts is hitting the baseball. Shohei, I don't know. How's Shohei been in the postseason? This is the first time we got to see him. People are we're wondering. How's he been? Pretty damn good, right?
He's pretty good.
He reached base 3 times in game 1. Freddie Freeman was good. Mookie Betts was good. Max Muncy was good. Edmonds was good. Flaherty, Daniel Hudson, and Ben Kasperius combined for the shutout. Dodgers blanked the Padres in Game 4 and Game 5 of the National League Division Series. Dodgers haven't allowed a run since the second inning of Game 3 against San Diego. I mean, look, maybe they gave up 14 tonight or this afternoon. It's an afternoon game. I mean, they're probably due for that, right? But with a scoreless inning, if they don't give up a run in the first inning today, they will stand alone at the top of that list of scoreless innings in postseason history.
That is an amazing turnaround from a team that had the worst ERA in the postseason, sitting there questioning this is why they're going home, to a 33-inning scoreless streak put together by bullpen games, by a pitcher that was struggling to 4 innings, and he goes out. Yamamoto goes 5.
Oh, Yamamoto, yeah. Yamamoto didn't look good in Game 1, and he looked great in Game 5 against the Padres.
In a winner-go-home situation, he set the tone, matching Yu Darvish on the other side. And then, oh, by the way, another player that people are going, well, this could be it. Could be moving on from you. Mookie Betts, the last 3 games, has shown up.
Well, anybody who thought because he was in a slump, we're moving on from Mookie Betts is I mean, you just
That's
don't
fans,
get it.
man.
Yeah, but you just don't. But that was the Dave Roberts thing, right? And people have been on Dave Roberts, the manager, because they haven't won more than one. They won the 2020 COVID World Series. And look, when a guy goes in a slump, Mookie Betts goes in a slump, is it Dave Roberts' fault? But I will tell you, he was masterful with that bullpen. In that Game 4 win against San Diego when they went with the bullpen, and the way he's handled this, I mean, he gets a lot of credit for pulling. Like, again, players make plays, pitchers make pitches, right? So it works both ways. But if you're going to get all over him for everything's his fault, you got to give him a little credit for what's going on right now. Meanwhile, so the Kodai Senja thing, the Mets pitcher, it was crazy. I mean, they didn't think he'd go deep in the game, but they didn't think he'd go an inning and a third and throw 30 pitches and 10 for strikes and just struggle the way he did and give up, 3 runs or whatever it was? That was a gamble that just didn't work out. And it was kind of bizarre. I know Yamamoto didn't pitch a lot in the regular season, and this is the people who are yelling me that you should let Ohtani pitch, right? But that was a gamble that just did not work for the New York Mets.
Yeah, gamble didn't work pitching-wise, and then Lindor was 0 for 3, and Pete Alonso was hitless in his at-bats with a strikeout and a walk.
All right, 9-0 Dodgers. So you get the Dodgers and Mets. It'll be at 2:08, I think is the time they're going today. And then the Yankees and the Guardians will start the American League Championship Series in the Bronx. That'll be at 5:08 our time. Those games are on Fox. And, of course, you got Monday Night Football tonight, Bills and Jets. Whole lot of New York going on, man. Bills, Jets, Giants last night, Mets, Yankees. I mean, for those of you who can't stand the overload, the Giants and the Mets lost last night. You get the Yankees and the Jets tonight. I mean, I don't know. Figure out how you like it.
It's all about New York.
So, in New York, there's a typical fan pattern. Now this isn't obviously 100%. If you're from the Bronx or you're from, if Manhattan, you tend to be a Giants and Yankees fan. And if you're from Queens and Long Island, Westchester County goes Jets and Yankees. But if you're Long Island and Queens, you tend to be Mets and Giants. No, I'm sorry, Mets and Jets. That's how that tends to be. You see Evan walking around here, he's a Mets and Jets fan, right? Our chief engineer. That's kind of how that tends to be. But, yeah, if you're tired of it, I mean, because you can get a whole hell of a lot of it if the Mets and Yankees win this. You know what I'm saying over there, Vinny? Huh? Yeah. We can go over there. You try to get tickets to sell the damn.
We're your Magic now, Mets.
Yeah. What was good? 8th inning, though, right? They got a couple guys on last night in the 8th inning. I'm thinking, well, they scored in the 8th, right? They got Flaherty out of there. They went to the bullpen. All of a sudden, you're thinking, oh, no, here they come. They can score a few runs here, right? But they got a fly ball to center field. They got out of there. You got nothing. Galush. Gunished. Nothing. Big zip. Zilch. Nada.
Sorry, bro.
Not a thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bleep it. It's hard to do this without dropping an F-bomb. I'm not going to lie to you. Because every time I go into this accent, right, people, they drop F-bombs. You got to be very, very, very careful here. I need this. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I guess I better start working on winners and losers, huh? I mean, the losers are, the number one loser is easy, right? Did that write itself? How did it not? You're looking at me like there's a doubt on this one? But the other ones are the biggest winners. We'll do that. 9 o'clock this morning, Bronco Mendenhall is due to be with us. Global football coach. Talk to him about his team putting up 52 on Air Force. Here comes Utah State next. Won 2 in a row. And how about that defense? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For almost 55 years, Clark.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert.
9:30, biggest winners and losers of the NFL weekend. Biggest winner of the college football weekend is Oregon, huh? How about the scene in Eugene? 32-31. Oregon beat Ohio State. I would tell you the biggest loser was SC. How about the clock? Did you watch the clock management down the stretch? Were you up in the press box? You were probably on the air, weren't you? On the pregame show when that was going on?
Oh, saw the end of the game.
So, you know where I watched it? I was actually sitting down on the bench on the sideline of the Lobos sideline. It was like 20 minutes before game time with Raleigh watching it on my phone. And what was SC doing? They got the ball back with like a minute to go in timeouts, and they played for overtime. Like they ran the clock down. They had no faith in Miller Moss to go down and get a field goal and win the game. And they deserved to lose that in overtime. That one was despicable. The end of the Oregon-Ohio State game was bonkers. Did you watch game day?
Saw some of game day.
Yeah, my nephew said he was there. He said
It's electric.
Bonkers.
They got a great thing going on, especially with Pat McAfee and the energy that he
when
brings.
he ripped his shirt off and just started. I'll always pick the home crowd, and they do shout at halftime or at the third quarter because that's where Animal House was, and he did his whole thing, and then he just went up and hey, and the whole place went by. I mean, he's really good at that. He's really good.
And you're talking about game management, the intentional or not Oregon, the 12 men on the field.
Okay, so I was alerted to this yesterday, and this is explain this because as Dan Lanning talked about whether this was intentional or not.
So there's 10 seconds left.
Ish, yeah.
Oregon puts an extra man on the field. Ohio State runs a play, 4 seconds come off.
And it's a penalty.
It's a penalty. But
5 yards came back.
The time back.
Right. So it knocked it down to 6 seconds. Right? And so they had the extra guy on the field. Now, if they would have picked the ball off, it wouldn't have mattered because it would have gone back to them. So people are saying that Oregon intentionally ran the extra guy out because A, it would give them a better chance to stop him, and B, it would run the time off. You don't get the time back, right? Okay, it's a 5-yard penalty, but whatever time elapsed on the play doesn't go back, and then 6 seconds, quarterback runs down the middle, slides, calls timeout, ball game, and they have no time left. And if they'd have that extra 4 seconds, they'd have called timeout and probably had an opportunity to kick a long field goal and win the game. Yeah, has he addressed whether that was intentional or not?
I haven't seen anything about that, but it was definitely being pointed out by a lot of people after that game.
I saw that yesterday on the social medium, and if so, if there was a coach, now both those coaches needed to win a big game. Dan Lanning maybe more so.
I don't know
than Ryan Day, although Ryan Day really needed one.
Now, Ryan Day's 2-6 against top 5 teams.
Okay, if SC didn't blow this game, the only team going 2 time zones in that league that would have won would be Indiana winning at UCLA. Now Penn State's won at USC. But SC going back to Minnesota lost, SC going to Michigan lost, Michigan going to Washington lost, Ohio State going to Oregon got beat. I mean, all those teams that are going 2 time zones are getting beat in that league. Look, whatever it means.
It's a change.
Yeah.
But those are talented teams that they're playing. What's going to be interesting is the first CFP poll.
Because Washington got beat, right? Where'd Washington get beat this week?
Oh, Iowa drubbed them.
Iowa
scored 40 points on them.
Kicked their ass. And they don't score 40 points on anybody.
No.
Yeah.
Is the first CFP poll, because another thing I saw simmering is after that Ohio State loss, is the Boise State contingent saying that they should be ranked in the top 5.
Yeah, that's fine. They can say that all they want.
Because they started comparing their resume.
Well, they lost Oregon
with
Ohio. So why would they be ranked ahead of Oregon?
They're
Ohio
saying,
State?
why are we 15th and they're 4th?
Because your schedule, because they're Ohio State and you're not.
No, you have a better schedule than Ohio State.
Okay, but by the end they won't. But when it's all said and done, they won't. And they're Ohio State and you're not. And people, whatever. Now, let me give you something that might be real. This is something that the Boise State contingent should lean on. So the top 5 ranked in the college football playoff league champions are automatically in the CFP, okay? The top 4 get the bye. Well, this is where you can start having some conversation. Should you be ranked ahead of one of the autonomous 5 champions? Right now, in the Big Ten, probably not. It's Ohio State, well, we should be ranked higher than Ohio State, but not Oregon. Oregon's 4-0. Indiana's 4-0, but they haven't played anybody. Penn State's 4-0. Illinois is 4-0. The Big 12 is going to be interesting. The teams that are undefeated in that league right now, and I said 4-0, I apologize. It's Penn State, Oregon, and Indiana who are 6-0. They're 6-0. There's 3 undefeated. The teams that are undefeated in the Big 12 right now are Iowa and BYU. The ACC, it's Miami and Pittsburgh. So would there be an argument when all's said and done that Boise State should be ranked ahead of Clemson, Miami, Pittsburgh, SMU, whoever ends up winning the ACC? Should they get a bye then? And are we arguing literally, will they be ranked 4th or 12th?
Oof.
I mean, honestly.
So it could be in the cards.
You're either going to get a bye or you're going to play the number 5 team and have to go on the road and go play at like Oregon or Ohio State or something, or Penn State. It's going to be really interesting to see where that goes. Hey, I wanted to hit you one other thing on Louisiana Monroe. And you're like, Jeff, why? Okay, because a couple of things. Their quarterback is from La Cueva High School and is a former Lobo, Aiden Armenta. And I don't know if you realize who the head coach is there. I mean, we talk about Aiden a lot, and he's 2-0. And we've been on this, and he was on the show last Monday. If you didn't hear that, it's a really strong conversation. You can go back and listen to it. Go to sportsanimalabq.com and click on the opening drive. Really good conversation with just a terrific young man in Aiden Armenta last week. Their head coach is Brian Vincent. And you're like, Brian Vincent? God, why do I know that? He was the offensive coordinator for the Lobos last year. Remember, he was the interim head coach at UAB the year prior when they fired their coach midseason and then didn't give him the job. They gave it to Trent Dilfer. Well, Bryant Vincent's the head coach at ULM, Louisiana Monroe. So ULM has been 1AA for about 30 years. They moved up in 1994. Let me just give you a little bit of context of what's going on here. They are 5-1, ULM is. They beat James Madison the other day. Last week when James Madison was 4-0. Aiden Armenta's their quarterback, the young man, redshirt freshman from La Cueva, who was on the Lobos roster last year, was recruited in the same recruiting class as Devin Dampier. In those 30 years, ULM has had 1 winning record, JJ. 1 in 30 years. You think it's been tough around here? Back in 2012, they were 8-5. They went to the Independence Bowl. They lost 45-14 in that bowl game to Ohio. That's what's going on there. Bryant Vincent has turned that thing around with a quarterback from Albuquerque, New Mexico. They're in contention for the Sun Belt. Look, I don't know how it's going to end. They're halfway through. All I know is midway through the season, put that dude up for National Coach of the Year. No, honestly.
Yeah, if there was the
Group of 5 Coach of the Year? Okay.
And we saw it last year. If you watch anything with the program, read anything about it, listen, like Bryant Vincent was an exceptional coach. And it's not surprising that he's having success now, how fast they were able to do it. In fact, he turned to Aiden Armenta, and they've been successful probably a little bit, but that dude can coach. Anyone you talk to, that dude can coach.
Appreciate the Journal and Lucas Pierman, the editor. He noticed them in his column. He's did a big thing, and he put your X post on there. If you go to the Journal, and it has your X post with the link to the opening drive conversation with Aiden Armenta, where you said it was a huge weekend for Albuquerque's quarterback. Aiden Armenta in his first career start helped ULM knock off JMU. Aiden in his 2 starts is 2-0. He's combined 29 for 49, 333 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the 1 interception. Just something to watch peripherally. I'm not telling you, go out and buy a Warhawk shirt yet. I'm just telling you. I'm just trying to put it into context for you. What's going on there? I mean, you think this program has been suffering? They've got 1 winning season in 30 years, dude. I mean, as much as New Mexico State was down, that they're that kind of down, right? They were 2-10 last year. They're the only team that's beaten James Madison this year Their head coach is a former Lobo offensive coordinator. Their quarterback is a former La Cueva quarterback, former Lobo quarterback, and they've got a bunch of other players from the UNM they recognize on their roster. Again, I'm not putting them in the national championship game. I'm not. What I'm telling you is, it's just something to take a look at. And JJ, it looks like some other people are taking a look at them a little bit around here. They're off this week are the Warhawks. They'll get at South Alabama on the 26th, then at Marshall. So 2 road games are next 2. They got to go to Auburn still. Their only loss is at Texas, the number 1 ranked team in the country. They got beat 51-3. That was their one loss. Bronco Mendenhall is due to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock in 15 minutes from now. We'll talk with the Lobo football coach about the victory over Air Force and what's next coming up in Logan on Saturday. We'll do that coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. I want to say thank you to International Protective Service, IPS. They not only protect my home and maybe yours and businesses all around Albuquerque, they've been protecting our tower that was knocked down by a balloon. I always say ours, KKOB's, Cumulus's ours. They protect and keep the bad guys away. This is what IPS does. They are affordable private security, who I trust, and I as well. We IPS. Homeowners do. They keep the bad guys away. Property crime's real. Officer shortage is real. IPS protects you. You've worked way too hard to build what you've got. Your business, your family. Don't let a bad guy come and take it all away. IPS is there for you around the clock. They provide standing guards if you need eyes on your property 24/7. They install alarms and camera systems. They got state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home and your business. So who's watching your home when you're not there? Make sure it's the good guys and not the bad guys. A quick response to your alarm, standing guards at your business is what IPS does. You sleep better at night. I know you can't prevent all the crime, but if you have no protection, you know you're more likely to be victimized. Call IPS. See what they can do for you. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. Yo, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Ojera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
We would like to thank.
Saw the Aiden Hutchinson injury yesterday, right? Broke his tibia. Underwent surgery. Didn't even go back with the team to Michigan. Stayed in Dallas for surgery. This is the defensive lineman stud for the Detroit Lions. The report this morning says if the Lions get to the Super Bowl, he could be ready to return for the Super Bowl, which is crazy, isn't it? Reports he's out for the season. Well, really? He broke his leg. Yeah, I get it. You saw it. It was gruesome. It snapped. But he could be back on the field if they get to the Super Bowl. It's a long way away. It's in February. But I guess that's a goal for you, huh? I mean, that'd be. Who was it, JJ, that came back from the ACL? Was it Adrian Peterson? right? Like it was a crazy 6-month return, and all of a sudden, well, if he did it, then that's what everybody should do now. I mean, every once in a while we see like crazy return time. There's no way, right? I guess there's no way to say no way anymore.
No way to say no way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something. All right. I'll get to these later. Can I vent, Jefferson? I don't know. Rod, let's see. I hear we can't put these mercenaries under contract. They're amateurs. They're student athletes. That would restrict freedom of movement. Yet at the same time, I hear they're finally getting paid. You look on the IRS website, and this is the definition of a professional, a person who receives compensation for their services. Which is it? Are they mercenaries? They can't be both.
They're living in the gray right now. And is that really hard to wrap your mind around?
It is. No, it is. It is. I mean, his point isn't so totally off, but
they're taking advantage
Yep.
of having everything their way.
Until it's not. Every litigation is going the player's way. It's every time, and this is where it is, Rod. Every time the NCAA or conferences go to court, they lose. And so they're giving and giving and giving, and right now, yeah, the players get everything. They get their money. Their contracts aren't binding, or maybe they are, but they're not multi-years. I think this settles down over a few years. I get your frustration. I don't even think you're wrong. But every time this thing's litigated, it goes against the NCAA. All right, Lobos were winners this weekend. Next up, they go to Logan. 2 in a row. Dare I say that's a streak? Their head football coach is Bronco Mendenhall. He will join us next. It is the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, thank you for remembering you listened to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted,
Intoxicated.
ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children.
Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
Rip, plaster,
destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only...
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, really fun evening out at University Stadium on Saturday. Pass. Lobos beat Air Force 52-47. They've scored 50 points or more in their last 2 contests. They have won it 2 in a row. 2-4 overall, 1-1 in conference. Next up, they will go to Logan and play Utah State on Saturday. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. The conversation with Bronco Mendenhall, sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. For 4 decades, Rudy's been helping New Mexicans deal through legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. 2 in a row and scored a bunch of points, and you're starting to see it, right? And like JJ said, just stand by. You're going to get rewarded. You're going to start seeing results. The head football coach at the University of New Mexico is Bronco Mendenhall. He joins us this morning. Good morning, Bronco. How you living?
Good morning. I'm well, thank you. Thank you.
Seeing some results, 2 wins in a row is a nice result. I know it's not perfect, but the bottom line is the bottom line, and you got to feel pretty good about what you saw out there, certainly from the offense on Saturday.
There's certainly satisfaction when it comes to results, and let's face it, I'm in a results-oriented business. Most of us are.
Yep.
And I'm also not willing to concede the process, and nobody wants to hear that. But the reality is, it simply is day by day, repetition by repetition, practice by practice, weightlifting and conditioning and meeting by meeting to then be able to stack enough successes, but also habits to then have them start to yield. And as you've seen and as you know, it's not perfect, but there are glimpses, there are stretches, there are now outcomes starting to show early in this process through 6 weeks with nothing but conference games to go. And I would say parity throughout the league that exists. And so, yeah, here comes the process, kind of gaining momentum with some outcomes starting to manifest. Optimism should abound, but we're still a work in progress for sure.
Yeah, as you progress and as you learn and as you mature and as you evolve, I'm going to harken back to after the Montana State game, and I think we had a conversation about, I probably asked you, about learning how to win. How does a team learn how to win? Over the last 2 weeks, do you feel you've made progress as a group learning how to win, whether that means finishing? Obviously you've got things to work on the defensive side of the fourth quarter, but do you feel you made progress there?
Yeah, we're learning, and man, that comes by being in the position to learn.
Yeah.
And so the last couple of games, right, commanding leads through 3 quarters, and that, quite frankly, is a very different position where you're protecting maybe a 3 or 4 score lead, and then how do you play football? And how do you play complementary football, where you're getting first down after first down after first down, yielding in points, and you're making stops appropriately when needed to get off the field. And so those 2 things, and 6 onside kick attempts in 2 weeks, so to move a program forward and to solidify not only winning, but playing from the lead, that's critical for any program that wants to have sustained success. And so we're learning that, but what it's exposed is probably early in the year, I would say that we were playing a strong first half of football. We were playing now 3 quarters worth of football at a fairly consistent rate. What we're not doing yet, especially on the defensive side, but certainly can improve offensively, is fourth quarter finishes, now protecting a lead, and then we'll see if we can then come back from a deficit, and overcome and get a win as well. So I would say contextual football is where it's moving to, with plenty of things to work on even on the way to that. But I think you're seeing the last 2 weeks, 3 quarters worth of pretty sound and football with probably 3-score leads. But then now what is that going to look like? And so we need work there for sure in that context.
Global football coach Bronco Mendenhall is with us on the Sports Animal.
Now, Coach, in your career, have you worked with a quarterback that has the ability, like Devin Dampier, just opening up so many things for the offense and just instilling a belief in an entire unit and team at this moment in time?
Sure, but not as early. So Taysom Hill at BYU, right, who's still playing about every position on the field in the NFL, and then Bryce Perkins at the University of Virginia, who led us to the Orange Bowl. And both of those players, because of their ability, but also because of their decision-making and their presence, and everyone around them becomes better. So let's just be really clear. When you have a player who's a great decision-maker, but who also is athletically skilled in being able to run, extend plays, and also throw and make every play, or every throw, every other player, so the other 10 on the field offensively are instantly better because the defense now has one less number. Meaning that if you choose to play coverage, right, you'll suffer in the run game, either a traditional run game or quarterback run game, because you're down a number. If you add that number to defend the quarterback or the run game, right, now you have every player defensively in the secondary who is either in man coverage, not only in traditional timing plays, but now has to have extended plays by Devin creating, scrambling, and extending. And so one of the transformational ways and the fastest ways to transform a program is at that position. And so that's happened at BYU. It happened at Virginia. It's happening here first and foremost because of that player. And so, yes, I've had other players at that position do the same thing, rarely as young in terms of a first year starting at playing at the level that Devin is currently.
You mentioned the dynamics of the offense and the playmakers that are emerging, especially with the running back room. Is that a game plan type of thing, or is it conscious what you and Jason Beck want to do in terms of getting specific guys involved in the run game?
So it starts more of the second that you mentioned, where getting specific guys involved. And that might mean, maybe our matchups up front, in addition to another physical presence ball carrier, would be the best way to go for the way we want to manage the game. It could also be the matchups up front now with a more dynamic player, maybe that running back versus a linebacker. We like that idea. Or possibly it might be this running back, because this is going to be tackle to alley run game. We think that's best versus a safety. And then we have a player to match. So luckily for us, and I'm so thankful, we've done a nice job attracting these players, but we have skill sets that can do each one and a player that can do each one. And that's just really helpful for us offensively, because we have that capability in about every position right now in relation to who we're playing.
Global football coach Bronco Mendenhall is with us on the Sports Animal. I noticed it watching the game, and it jumped out to me on the final stat sheet, penalties. It's been a problem, and you only had 4 penalties for 40 yards. I don't know what the ideal number going is. I guess it would be 0, but the ideal acceptable goal is. I don't know if that was a point of focus, but certainly 4 for 40 is something you could probably live with.
Yeah, it's back to the start. Our first game of the year, we had 4 for 40. And I'm just going to face and say it out loud, right? This program is learning consistency. It's learning to manage stress. It's learning to manage pressure. It's learning to manage conflict. It's learning to manage everything. And I'm not sure I've ever had a stretch as a head coach where there's 3 double digits in a row. There might have been. But it wasn't anything radical that's brought it back down to 4. It was just consistent drawing awareness to, focusing on the fundamentals and the different things needed, and now it's back to 4. And so, there could be, Jeff, wild swings in other areas as well that over time will flatten out, much like the stock market. You just invest and you keep going with your processes, And then, gosh, the yield at some point ends up being, holy smokes, I earned whatever, 17%.
Right.
But there might have been highs and lows somewhere in between.
When do you see the defensive numbers flatten out then? And obviously, look, you're winning. But I don't know that having to score 40, 50 points a week is sustainable. Maybe it is. And certainly a lot of those points were in the fourth quarter again. You shut them out in the third quarter. I thought the fourth down stops were big. And so I thought there were moments, but obviously the final numbers are, when you went back and looked at the tape, how do you feel about the defense overall? Did you feel there was progress this week?
There's progress being made now on our team through three quarters. The past 2 weeks, 21 and 20 points in the fourth quarter. And so the contextual part of it certainly has to improve. Probably the best third quarter of football that we played yet. The fourth down stops, the turnover, and the 17 points, to be clear, that came off of that with field position. So all 6 drives in the second half started inside our opponent's 50. And so you have to look at the points production in relation to that as well. But we are battling in terms of trying to get consistency in our secondary, consistency in our run fits, and also having the right tempo, urgency, and assignment soundness for 4 quarters. So this isn't now a week 6 thing. The fourth quarter has been really starting from a week 1 thing, but we were playing from behind in some circumstances. Now we're protecting a lead, so context is shifting. Can't predict yet when the breakthrough will happen. I've never been able to. Will it happen? Certainly. How long? Not sure. Until then, the process, and the diligence and the determination that it takes to transform a program, which isn't for the faint of heart.
No, Coach, you did mention Christian Ellis as one of those players after the game that really impressed you. And I think for us, sometimes defense, we just sometimes all we can see is tackle numbers. But with a player like Christian Ellis, with what he was asked to do in a game against Air Force, what makes him such a difference maker in that situation?
Well, it starts with ability. And so Christian is a dynamic athlete. He's instinctual, which usually means he's developed great habits and he loves football. So that ends up putting him in the right place at the right time with enough ability. So there can be players that are really well schooled and sound, but not quite enough ability to make plays. Christian has both. And so when you put a Vinger kind of with him or behind him, that combination is very effective currently, and both of them are playing well. And then other players through consistency over time, which aren't really noticeable right now, but Moso Tuitele at the defensive end spot just continues to inch forward. Not wild, dynamic, or has crazy numbers, but week in and week out, there is just steady and incremental improvement. The same is happening with our defensive front. The same is happening with Dimitri. And so at some point, again, and I think Jeff asked me how soon, no idea. However, in program transformation and unit transformation, you have to have the stomach for the process and when it's going to yield. And also, then adding the resources, continuing to find the right scheme on a weekly basis that matches your opponent with the players that you have and what they can do. And then eventually the collective will look consistent and the numbers will start to change. They haven't yet. Everyone knows it. We know it. The players know it. The coaches know it. The urgency can't be higher to address it. And so you just keep going until it does.
It's got to be a lot nicer to teach and have teaching moments while you're winning, and you've won 2 in a row. Here you're going up to Logan, and they're a really interesting team. They're 1-5. They're giving up almost 48.5 points a game, but they're scoring. They got a quarterback in Petrus who can move the ball. Faison, their running backs, averaging almost 100 yards a game. They played USC and Utah and Boise State, who are all ranked. They played a good UNLV team who was ranked. And so when you look at them on tape and you go up there, what do you see? Because I'm going to guess they're probably very similar to what you're doing, not necessarily schematically, but they're giving up points. They're scoring a little bit. They're just not getting results. What do you see in Utah State?
That's super dynamic. A very good scheme. Wide receivers capable, really good running back, quarterback that can yield. And so lots of point potential. Just dynamic. I think you already mentioned it. Part of the issue that Utah State has had so far is just their schedule. And so scheduling philosophy looks similar to what UNM chose to do this year. And so with that comes some of the results that you have to battle back from. And so I think Utah State is in that exact same position, but certainly capable. in every way and scoring points, regardless of who they play. Defensively, similarly, they've gone against some really good teams and have struggled keeping the points off the board. So, I see some similarities.
Well, one last thing I wanted to ask you about Sol-Jay Maiava-Peters and his game last week and what you're able to do with him. Here's a guy who was a quarterback at BYU. In fact, was the MVP of the New Mexico Bowl when they beat SMU a couple of years ago. The production he got, it feels like there's a lot of versatility, a lot of athleticism in a pretty cerebral player. Talk a little bit about him and what you're able to do with him.
So Sol-Jay is a very good football player. He understands the game, he loves the game, and he understands it from multiple positions. So a lot of times when someone says he's very instinctual, that just means he started playing when he's like 3 years old, and every chance he had, he'd pick up a football or he'd be in a pickup game. And so now it looks instinctual, but he's just spent his whole life doing it. Usually if someone's not instinctual, they just haven't put the time in to become instinctual. So he is. He's loved football since he's a little kid. And so he can throw the football, he can run the football, and he can catch it. And so we have the ability now to, when he's on the field, to have him throw it, have him run it, or throw it to him. And, that's difficult for a defense to then know which role is he in. He's in the game, but what if he doesn't line up at quarterback? And that was the defensive call, was predicated he was going to be a quarterback. Same at running back, or same possibly at receiver. So, we're just looking to add more players on the field offensively that can do multiple things, which makes us harder to defend.
It's a good weapon. Safe travels to Logan. We'll see you during the week. Appreciate the conversation as always, and congratulations on a couple in a row.
Yeah, and thanks to our fans for the support, and look forward to joining in more celebrations to come.
Be well. We'll see you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. He is Bronco Mendenhall, the Lobo football coach. That conversation is sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. Personal care and the attention you deserve for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500. I thought there was a lot in there. And I appreciate his candor. I do. I want to hit specifically on what he talked about, the defense and the process, and your thoughts on it when we get back on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Dirty Boys present Fill in the Holes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
His candor in regards to the reality of where they are. And as I said earlier, like, I thought there was progress at the end of last year. Lobos beat Fresno State, had an opportunity at the end to beat Utah State, right? But when this staff came in, 60 new players, you basically tore it down to the studs and you're starting over again with a really good quarterback who was here. And some good pieces, right? Luke Wysong, who's been probably their most consistent non-quarterback on the whole roster. Wouldn't you say that? Had the punt return the other day?
Yes.
He was here as well. So there were pieces that are here that they utilized and they've made better, and I say made better, have gotten better. I think that would be the natural evolution, but certainly under this coaching staff. But the reality is this was a teardown when you have 60 new players come in. And JJ, he's being very candid about the defense, and he's got a little more optimism than maybe you did for the first 3 quarters, right? But you learn how to win, and from his perspective, all right, we're learning how to protect a lead. We're maybe 3 scores up going into the fourth quarter, where they're not always going to be. Like, this one's going to be a shootout this weekend, don't you think?
They're all going to be a shootout.
But
they're all
not everybody's going to be able to shoot with you. So, and I say that, and Air Force did. They put up 37, and
it's going to be different when you have competent quarterback play. They haven't seen
like
that
this
from
week,
New Mexico State or Air Force.
Like Spencer Petras.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to see one this weekend. Right.
I have no problem with the way the Lobos played because I am comfortable with that, because watching this team this season, I know that's where the games are going to go. They were up 45-17 after 3 quarters.
So
they scored their last touchdown in the game. They had 52 points on the board with 11 minutes left. They were comfortable. But there's going to be games where it's going to be back and forth, and it's not, we're comfortable going into the fourth quarter. That's where we just gave up all our points. And so that's the only hesitation.
Hence Montana State.
Is against better offenses. Like, they have zero margin for error on offense. It's just where they are right now defensively. But I believe that they're good enough offensively to have a chance in the rest of the schedule. Not sure how to feel about the Washington State game yet. The way they play and how good they've looked, I think that's the one where they'll be probably solid underdogs in it. All the other Mountain West contests, they're going to have a chance because of this offense.
Yeah, I don't know what I believe Utah State is. So I'm going to tell you, they got to be sitting there going, yeah, we're 1-5, but. Right? And it's kind of where you were when you were 0-4. Yeah, we're 0-4, but. right? You said, okay, here comes New Mexico State, Air Force, Utah State, Colorado State, Wyoming, San Diego State, teams that you believe that are not unbeatable, and you went out and beat the first one. Well, they're 1-5, but aside from the Temple loss, right? And Temple is, what are they, 1-3 now? What's Temple's record at this point? They are 1-5. So that one's a tough one to eat. And if you're looking for something, they went on the road and gave up 45 to Temple. But aside from that, they lost to SC, Utah, and they played well in that game. They lost 62-30 to Boise State, who's beaten everybody, and a UNLV team who we all believe is really good, 50-34. They're looking at it and going, okay, now it gets better. Now we get New Mexico, we can beat them. Now we get Wyoming, we can beat them. We can beat Hawaii, we can beat San Diego State, we can beat Colorado State. We can get our way to 6-6 and find our way into a bowl game. Right? They're looking at this one the same way you've been looking at it, and kind of the way you're looking at them, right?
Yes, the Lobos' schedule against their opponents, they're both saying the same thing. There's questions, but we can now find the answers with what they're going on.
100% what they're saying. So, and I watched them a little bit on Friday night. I mean, they can move the football. I thought UNLV was just going to run them out of the built, and eventually they pulled away. But they put 34 on UNLV. UNLV's defense has been playing pretty well. You got a quarterback in Spencer Petras who can throw the ball. Faison is averaging almost 100 yards a game running the football. You're going to go up there and go on the road. It's going to, I'm not going to tell you like the most hostile environment ever, but I mean, it's always a tough spot. JJ, you've been there. It's hard to get to. It's up there.
They probably get to fly right into Logan.
That's probably right.
Benefit for them.
Yeah, that's probably right.
But it's going to be nice. Like, things are breaking the Lobos' way, just in terms of the Mountain West teams they play this year. It's supposed to be 55 degrees.
Is that what
and
it's going to be, 55 and sunny?
In Logan, Utah.
Just going to go look at that. Oh. Can't ask for much more than that. Gopher says, don't be fooled by UNLV Utah State score, Jeffy. UTAG's early turnovers gave the Rebs a big head start. Yeah, turnovers matter, too, Gopher. I mean, turnovers are part of the game, too. You know, it's always funny when your team causes turnovers, you're like, yeah, we caused turnovers, and when you give it away, well, we shouldn't give the ball away. I mean, it's, you know. Where's this other one? Let me go down to these other ones. You were in on Lobo football early today. Mike says, Jeff Alou, obviously I'm concerned. This was a repeat of Auburn. A freshman quarterback making first start, looked like an All-American candidate, put up 500 yards. Lobo football would have lost if not for, like the announcer said, very questionable play calling on 3rd and 4th and short. Too much east-west running when the Flyboys were having so much success just shoving it up the middle. Also, Troy Calhoun started onside kicks way too early. Look, give the Lobos a little credit. Their offense is scoring enough points. And Bronco admitted, right, you had a lot of short fields.
Whether Air Force gave them the football in a short field or a long field, the Lobos were scoring on Saturday.
What did you see in the Air Force defense that was going to shut New Mexico down? New Mexico kind of turned it off in the fourth quarter as well, offensively. Lobo Hobo says, knock him on his ass, Jeff. It was way too easy for Dylan Dampier when he ran up the University Stadium ramp after his uniform was still clean. I was watching the game with some Air Force fans. They were yelling, knock him on his ass to their struggling Flyboys. Yeah, you got to get to him first, man. I think a lot of people, I think the Aggie people were saying that same thing. Right? I mean, it sounds easy. Look, will you guys at least admit you got a pretty good quarterback? Will you give him a little credit? He's damn good, dude. He's really, really good. Like, not just Lobo good or not just, well, he's a good Mountain West. He's a damn good quarterback. Jack says, I wanted to go to the Lobo game. Bad, Jeff. But here's why Jack didn't go, JJ. I wouldn't have gotten home until after 9 o'clock, and that didn't fit well with a 3 a.m. Balloon Fiesta wake-up call. So I stayed home and watched the most gruesome United injury ever that took 4 or 5 minutes to clear the Tulsa court. That's why this OD talks so much about clinching early so you can save some team and rest your key players. I don't know. I did both. You saw me at the game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Made an appearance?
Yesterday, I made an appearance. I did. I sat in that spot that said open next to you. Yeah, I got. JJ Buck, he's a big dog. He gets his own spot. I just, I'm an open guy. I kind of sit wherever I want. sometimes up there. Frank doesn't like that, maybe. I did, for a second, sat in that spot that says, don't sit here. The top.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really briefly. I didn't want to get punished. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. I got other correspondence from you in regards to the Cowboys, in regards to Lobos, in regards to other stuff. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Getting ready to step into the ring of excitement.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
That bragged that his show was prepped for the rest of the media, Jeff. Felt like the opening drive became that this weekend with everyone talking about Garnett Stokes' AD letter after the news broke on Friday's show. I don't know if that's right. I mean, it broke during our show, so we hit it, but I think everybody was going to talk about the letter that the president of the University of New Mexico put out to stakeholders in regards to the search for an athletic director. The former athletic director was in the house the other day. Eddie Nunes was at the game. He didn't really make the rounds. He kind of was down on the field, but he was in the building. I don't know. The Journal's following us a little bit on the Aiden Armentas story, right? National followed us on the Diego Pavia conversation last week. What, did we have him before everybody else? I mean, Dan Patrick had him after us, right? I'm just saying. I mean, look, every once in a while, we know what we're talking about. But thank you, James. Appreciate it. Sid, sounded good on 770, Mr. Symbiont. I heard you on my drive back yesterday from my annual escape from the 8-day fiasco of lost drivers and clueless tourists, a.k.a. the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Thanks to William Shatner, I got a comfy hotel room for less of the cost of sleeping on Mr. Buck's couch. But hearing about those crowds and traffic jams, I was glad I was still hundreds of miles away. Sid, glad you had a good vacation. Gopher says Lobo football does not equal Madonna. Jeff, last week you said the NFL doesn't have consistent post time TV sites, so why should Lobo football? That's like saying because Madonna shows up 2 hours late, the local lounge act down here at Hard Rock Casino should get to do the same. You're talking about totally different levels of entertainment, and with a higher level, fans will put up with more abuse. It's from Gopher. Gopher, it's not abuse that there's different times and whatever. Tell me something that like is considered, even your kids' games, right? Your kids' youth games are different times and different days.
You can send emails to complain about everything. You can take 5 minutes to look at a schedule if it happens to change.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, games, whatever.
You don't even need that to use the Google and or get to a team's website.
I asked you earlier, what is the worst situation? And there's two ways to phrase it. What's the biggest mess? Cowboys, Browns, Raiders, or Jaguars? The other way to say it is, what would be the quickest fix? I don't want to say easy, but quickest fix. If you had to go in there and fix it, Cowboys, Browns, Raiders, Jaguars. Dan says the biggest mess by far, Micah John. That's Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. He says Jeffrey Juan Jose, he just got paid and he's about to get another coach fired. He is, huh? I mean, he is about to get another coach fired. Look.
Urban did it to himself.
Urban, fair enough. That's 100% fair. If the Jaguars lose to the Patriots in London next week, they fire Doug Peterson when he gets back, right? That Khan, that owner, I see no way he's got the patience.
I would agree with that.
I don't know that that's the issue. I don't know what the issue is with them. The issue feels like it's the quarterback, and that starts a quarterback. That's the guy you gave, what, $55 million a year to? How does, and I'm not telling you there's an easy answer here, okay? But quarterbacks who got paid, and again, we spent all offseason talking about it. Should you pay Dak? Should you not pay Dak? What do you do? Quarterbacks who got paid, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford. Kirk Cousins got paid, right? Derek Carr, does that he count? Did he get paid? Not really. Not like that. Paid. Love, Goff, Dak, Hurts. Go down the list, man. What you know going in, it doesn't guarantee you success. It just doesn't guarantee success. I mean, Tua got hurt. Dak's 3-3. Trevor Lawrence is 1-5. Deshaun Watson's 1-5. You got a lot of dudes making a lot of money and aren't winning a lot of games. Brian, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. Hey, I'll tell you, I went to the Lobo game this weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I'm hearing, mixed reactions from a lot of people. I'm like, what game were you watching?
What's mixed? They didn't like the defense? You didn't win by enough?
I mean, the defense. Everybody's, pissing on the defense. I'm like, dude, they made some key stops. They're improving every game. I don't get it sometimes with fans in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Look, that's a program. You beat a program that's been pretty much beaten up on you for a lot of years. You scoring a lot of points. So remember when the Lobos were winning like 24-17 or whatever, and it wasn't exciting enough? Now you got a really exciting offense. You're scoring a lot of points. Well, yeah, but like I get it, man. It's never going to be good enough for you if that's the case.
I'll give you for instance. There was a couple gentlemen sitting behind me, and the whole game, not the whole game, mainly the second half. No, the whole game. I take that back. All they did is every time there was, Air Force got a first down or made some yardage, they were complaining like, well, what is that guy doing? Why didn't he get over there? I'm like, finally, at halftime, I told the guys, I said, look, do you realize how fast the game is down on that field? We're sitting up here in the stands watching it from 250 yards away, and it looks slow to us. Yeah. I said, I even asked the guy, I said, dude, give me some, have you ever coached, when's the last time you played football? Well, the guy was like, yeah, I played back at Albuquerque in 1950-something. I said, the game has changed. I said, when somebody gets a quarter of a step on you,
yep, gone.
They blow by you at that point. The game is so fast down there, and I believe Bronco get this all turned around, but he can't get it all turned around in one season.
And meanwhile,
week.
Brian, you've won 2 in a row.
People expect it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to teach when you're winning too. It's a lot easier to eat. And by the way, the other guys are on scholarship too. The other guys, the coaches get paid too. They got video equipment and workout rooms and coaching staffs too. They're trying to win too.
And that's the other thing is I told the guy, I said, you think our guys are doing this on purpose? I said, there's a guy in front of them that's trying to beat them every play.
That's right.
I said, there's so much effort going on down there on the field. I hate that to be overlooked.
Yeah, I think it's a good call.
I'm just so glad to see that we're on a 2-game winning streak. Holy cow! When's the last time we did that?
Well, it's been a minute. Did they win 2 in a row last year, JJ? Brian, appreciate the call. Don't be a stranger. Thanks.
All righty.
There's Lobo fantasies, man. Go out and enjoy it, and you're winning. Look, what do you tell me all the time? Enjoy the victories because, for the most part, in sports, it doesn't end well, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you can't enjoy a win over Air Force, I mean, I get it, man. You want to shut them out. Your guys shouldn't commit they don't travel in basketball. They don't hold in football. And every time they get, a guy scores a touchdown, it's what we gave him. And like, the other guys are on scholarship, too. Can I just tell you, you beat Air Force 52-37. You look really, really competent, dare I say, good offensively. You made some plays defensively, and this is a rebuild. Like, it was brought down to the studs. Did it have to be? You can have that conversation a whole other time, right? Were you making progress into the former coaching staff? It doesn't matter anymore. They made a change. You tore it down to the studs. You had a quarterback. It's like I'm keeping the frame and I'm keeping. I like the paint on that wall. We'll do that, but you kept the quarterback. You kept Wysong. You kept some players. Moved some pieces around. And brought in 60 new players. Yeah, defensively, you've got to get better. Nobody's dodging that, man. Nobody's running away from that. But you scored 50 points or more in the last 2 games. Yeah, who'd we play? Look, man, who are you to say
they haven't done that since 1916, scoring 50 or more points in back-to-back games.
What year?
1916.
1916?
Yes.
Not 1960, 1916? Where'd they play?
I don't know. They might have played in a dirt lot on Lomas somewhere, if Lomas even existed.
What do you want me to do here?
But they beat NAU, Albuquerque Indian School, and New Mexico State.
Albuquerque Indian School. Yeah. All right, you want me to take this last break and then go to the phones? All right, if you're there, stay there. I want to hear from you when we get back. 505-246-0610. I never did give you winners and losers. Probably going to need to do that tomorrow. I do want to tell you about the Albuquerque Convention Center, though, because if you are planning an event, if you've got a gala, a Christmas party, a holiday party, a reception, Albuquerque Convention Center is your spot, and they will make your event the event that everybody wants to be at. With 600,000 square feet plus of beautiful, versatile meeting space, indoor and outdoor, with a parking structure adjacent to the center. At the center of it all in downtown Albuquerque, easy to get to from everywhere, you will find yourself at the event that you always dreamed of planning. Be at the center of it all and book the Albuquerque Convention Center today. They've got a great menu, a terrific staff, Whatever your event is, no matter how big it is, big, small, 10 people, 20,000, they've got you covered from a gala to an expo to a meeting to a holiday party. 505-768-4575 is the number. 505-768-4575 or online at albuquerquecc.com. Be at the center of it all at the Albuquerque Convention Center.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, thank you for spending some time with us. Good conversation with Bronco Mendenhall this morning. If you want to hear it again or missed it, it's available over at our website, sportsanimalabq.com. I thought he was really, really good, candid. It's where it is, man. You're winning games. Like, you've just won 2 in a row. You went through a tough stretch, man. Arizona, Auburn, Fresno State was look. You ripped this thing down to the core and brought in 60 new dudes. It's going to take a minute. Rudy, good morning. How you living? You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Well, some things you should probably never do. Don't let your buddy sneak in a bottle of Fireball and decide to take a shot after every Lobo touchdown because I think that was like 8, 7. I don't know how many shots we did.
I don't either.
It was fun in the stand, and we just always have a great time at Lobo football. And I encourage more people to get out there and support the team. And what's nice is going back and watching. Did you get a chance to watch the TNT broadcast or the True TV?
I watched part of it. I mean, being there, I saw some of the second half stuff.
Yeah, I taped it and watched it back, and they really do a good job producing the game. The only thing missing was more people in the stands when they did those drone shots, but the night was pretty special. Anytime you beat an Air Force Academy team, look, I was waiting for those guys to break out, and they slip in a third quarterback, and the kid did a good job. But what happens, I think, with this defense is there's just not a bell cow. When Rocky took over, who did he have on defense? Oh, only a guy named Brian Urlacher, right?
He was all right, yeah.
You can build a defense around a Brian Urlacher. And it's no offense to any of these kids because they're fighting their tails off. And Noah Avenger, I think, has a heart bigger than the state of New Mexico, but he's, 5'10", maybe 6 foot tall. And then JJ, I don't remember his name, but you'll conjure it up. The kid hadn't been playing that much, had 17 tackles.
Oh, Kapai?
Kapai, yeah. Had he been playing a lot?
Yeah, he's been in the rotation the last couple weeks.
Okay. A guy steps up, makes 17 tackles, that kind of gets your attention. So there are people there. And what I notice about defense is it's a lot harder to develop because a lot of those guys, you look at how Bronco did it when he had Nick Spiegel for 4 years. Well, by the time Nick's a senior, he's your second coach on the field. He knew every position, every defensive call, and what every player was supposed to be doing. That took 4 years. So we're going to get there, and we just have to figure out a way to retain players. And I guess that's my final message. The time to talk is over. Anybody out there listening, if you got $5 extra, give up your Starbucks today on Indigenous Day and give it to the SBF 505. We're so lucky to have a guy like Kurt Roth who wants to invest his time for free to try to help New Mexico be better. And I don't think we should ever take that very lightly or for granted.
Thanks, Rudy. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Good time out there. What do you want me to do? You want? But winners to lose. You want me to hold them?
Hold them.
Hold them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away and know when to run because you shouldn't count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting like that.
So we can have a chance to expand on them tomorrow.
All right. You might not agree with them, but you might. All right, you get baseball today, 2 of them, and you get footy tonight. We'll have football here on the Sports Animal. We will have the Jets and the Bills tonight. Coverage starts at 5:30. Westwood One's coverage. Baseball, you get 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Dodgers and Mets, game 2. LA wins game 1 yesterday, 9-0. You will get, who I get pitching-wise tonight? I get Ryan Brasher for the Dodgers. Sean Manaea is going for the Mets. Manaea with a 2.25 ERA. Bullpen game for the Dodgers?
You know it.
33 scoreless innings for LA. If they get through this next inning, it'll be a record for most scoreless innings. They're tied right now. Most scoreless innings in a postseason in Major League Baseball history. Tied the 66 Orioles, I believe is what it was. Ohtani's hitting 310. But how about him with runners in scoring position? Was he like 15 for his last 18 or something stupid like that? Will he be all right in the playoffs? Let's see how Ohtani is. Yeah, let's see how he... Oh, okay. That guy's just different.
Just different.
Yep. Cleveland and New York. That's the Yankees and the Guardians. That'll be your 5:30 game. American League gets started. Carlos Rondon for the Yankees. Alex Cobb for Cleveland. That will be down in the Bronx. And so that'll be your late game tonight if you want to watch that. Split screen it with your football. The news this morning, there is a report, and it's kind of okay. After that gruesome injury you saw yesterday with Aiden Hutchinson, that if the Lions make it to the Super Bowl, he could, not will, but could be ready. And he underwent surgery, and we'll see. I got this one, and it says, why do losing teams have to change everything, including their coach, instead of just losing a lot and merely moving on? Did the Lions fire their coach after their 0-16 season? Did they? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I do think every situation is different.
Yep.
I don't think the Cowboys are firing coaches. Never felt that. It's not what Jerry Jones does.
Yep.
Other situations you look at, the Jaguars, they fired coaches in season. They just paid Trevor Lawrence a big bag to elevate that team, and they're not elevating it. So that is an owner that I could see making a move like that. I do agree with the sentiment. That's why it's like, what needs to change this or that? Sometimes you're just not good, and you could shift responsibilities around. But I do agree with the take that you can't fire every head coach.
I agree with that, too.
Every other week.
What I did say is if you're the Cowboys, something, can you just sit there in status quo after getting run out of your own built 49-7 and sit there for 2 weeks and nothing changes? Like, and I don't know what the answer is. Okay, that's why I'm not a GM, and I'm not in that building, and I don't know. But JJ, if you're going to sit here and scream at me that you're Super Bowl talented, which you're not,
but at some point in time you have to get past that. It's
past
an owner
what?
saying that.
Okay, but if that owner believes that, how can he sit there and watch that? Like, if you believe that, let's just put yourself in that person's shoes. If you believe you're that damn good and you just got beat like that 3 times at home, how can you not do something? And I'm not yelling change your coach. I don't know that I think you have to fire the coach, but I mean, what's the definition of insanity? That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the answer is, and I'm not all for firing the coach. I think Mike McCarthy's a good coach. I do. I don't think that's a good team. I told you that
Sometimes
before the season
you just
started.
have to show up and work.
Yeah.
Right.
And
just what are you changing? We can fire a coach. Okay, you can't make the biggest trade of your life in season.
No.
Show up and try to do your job, and sometimes it's not good enough.
Thank you to Bronco Mendenhall. Lobo Coach was with us today. If you missed it or want to hear it again, it's over on our website, sportside.labq.com. Click on the opening drive, and you can hear what he had to say. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4, and then you get NFL Monday Night Football, Bills and Jets tonight at 5:30. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning. We'll start at 7 a.m. Adrian, go Doyers! He sent me some good Doyer memes today. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Hey, be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families.